So you talked about how you had a few kind of quality friends. About 5 or 6 years ago, you met Furkan, who is the founder of Founders Inc. And there's this interesting story we talk about a lot, which is there were like 5 of you that were there. Sharif was one of them, you were there. And you all kind of started these companies, like just hacking on it together. Those like 5 companies are worth something like $500 million at this point. And it's only been 4 or 5 years. What do you remember from those like early days? How did it even come about?
How did I meet Furkan, or how did that happen?
How did that like 5-person group kind of happen?
It was
how did you meet Furkan?
It was super simple. It was just Furkan had a couple of people that he thought were making cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I think Furkan's strength is he really knows how to find a good student. He knows who to put his time into. So Furkan kind of didn't sought after any of us, but we found Furkan and Furkan found us. And then we were both like, it was a very symbiotic kind of relationship, I think, for all of us. It was individual. Like Furkan and Sharif would talk a lot. Furkan and like Jake Johnny would talk a lot. Furkan and me would talk a lot, you know? And eventually Furkan's like, let me just bring these people together. And that's all it was.
And that's when you all moved to SF.
At the time, we were all in various situations, but my first thing with Furkan was I came to San Francisco working a job, actually, a separate job. And in that process, I was working on this augmented reality menu app. And I showed it to, what's so funny?
We had Dillian on last week.
Yeah.
And he was working on, he built the same app for a hackathon project.
And we were like, yo, why is everyone doing this?
That's amazing. Yeah. I remember right when ARKit dropped, that's what I built.
But that's a $1 trillion idea. Why is that not a thing,
sad.
bro?
He was like,
all
you guys built all
Why
of this,
didn't you build
just built that.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a year and a half on it. And I remember Furkan, I feel like I'm a good vet of people like that I want to hang out with. And I remember I would always show people this idea and some of them would just trash it. Like I hate when people trash something.
Yeah.
Like I had nothing in me more wants to talk to them less. I'll try to understand them, but I don't want to keep talking to them. I remember Furkan, I went to the YC too, like YC Startup School. I would show all these partners what I was working on.
Were you already in YC at the point?
No, I was in startup school.
Okay.
They were doing like an IRL startup school thing.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to like wherever the fuck it is. I think it's like, I'm blanking, but it's like near Palo Alto,
Mountain
right?
View?
Mountain View, there you go. And I'd go there every week with Alec actually. And I'd show the partners and just nothing but get trashed on, nothing but get sad and go home. Furkan was the only guy where I showed it to him and he didn't make fun of it. He just
the
said,
biggest hater of them all didn't make fun of it.
no, Furkan, I learned something from him. He just said, that's pretty cool. How's it going? No one had ever asked me that. And I was so happy. I remember from that moment on, I was like, I'm going to keep this guy around for like at least 10 years. I don't know how, but like, I got to like keep this guy around and learn from him. Cause like, that's amazing. He was so nice. I was like, he's so nice. Like, I want to be that nice.
Who were the other people in the group? It was Sharif, I think.
At the time, that little hackathon was like Sharif from Lexica, Johnny from Zeet, Zihao from Zeet, Jake Liu, Third Web now. And I think, and then we had Abhishek. Yes. Nice. So then Abhishek, that was awesome. So that was the friends, man. And that was only, it's not like I really deeply knew these guys, to be honest, or like was the deepest or closest of friends with them. It was just like, we were always around. We always had like this connection between what we were working on. So it was a good crew, and it was all like a Furkan chosen crew. So I think that made it really good too.
How did that turn into Founders Inc. though? Because I remember you guys had like another building in Building C. It was like a small room.
Yeah, I remember. So basically, after around mid 2019, I'm back in SF. I just left some other company that I was recruited for a CTO. And Furkan's like, I want to get a place. I want to get a space. I want to put a bunch of cool people in there. And I was like, cool. Like, I could, like, let's talk about it. So me and Furkan would go to like random places around SF. And he would just, I don't even know why I'm doing this. He's just like, yo, Farzi, you want to come check out this place with me?
Oh, so it would just be you two?
It was just me and him.
That's crazy.
And Furkan would just take, I was like, this is awesome. Like, I'm just going and seeing big warehouses with this guy. Sometimes his wife, Karen, would come along too, right? And I was like, oh, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And that was a long idea, right? But eventually, Furkan got a small spot here, a really shitty spot. I'm sure you could even find a picture. I have a bunch of pictures from that spot.
I saw it on your Twitter.
I have a bunch of pictures of that spot. And that was it, man. That was kind of the start of like the physical Founders Inc. But the Founders Inc. before was like the invention of Furkan on Discord. For all throughout COVID, every single week he would run that chat and give away one Ethereum, which is $500 at the time, every single week. That's all Founders Inc. was. So
interesting.
I think it was a really big lesson of like, you can start digital